So after reviewing Paranormal Activity 3, we got a fourth one. And this is the one that has the most fun characters, the ones that we can relate to the most. And I have seen this movie for quite a while now, and I enjoy this one a lot. Is it the best one? No, it's not. But it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it a lot. It's a good movie, but there are a good amount of flaws to it. But let's talk about it. 2012's Paranormal Activity 4. So this continues for the sequel to Paranormal Activity 2, which continues this. So it has been 5 years since Katie, and she murdered her sister and disappeared with her infant nephew, Hunter. And now a new family is about to fall prey to nighttime terrors. A mysterious accident next door leads to teenage Alex, played by the great Catherine Newton, and her family becoming the temporary guardians of Robbie, played by Brady Allen, a very creepy neighbor boy. Cameras installed throughout Alex's home capture the sinister events that unfold after Robbie's arrival. This movie is good, but there are flaws to it. But the thing I will say also is that the cast, I like this cast a lot. I mean, you got Catherine Newton, Matt Shively. I guess this is supposed to be her boyfriend in the movie. And then you got Aiden, who's played by Wyatt, Brady Allen as Robbie, Stephen Dunham as Doug Nelson, and Alexandra Lee as Holly Nelson. And you got Katie as Katie. I mean, yay for her. But this movie is interesting, despite the fact that it's continuing the story. It says all the activities led to this. Not really. I mean, it does stuff, but not enough that I thought it would be. The acting is good, really good. Catherine Newton, she's great in the movie. She's barely known, but she's great. Matt Shively as Ben, he's great. His humor was great. He was so much fun. I enjoyed his presence a lot. And that's surprising because people like him, they don't get the best stuff to work with, but this, he did a great job. The parents, they did good. And then you get the kids that are good too. But I feel like there were a couple times where I was like, I think they need some help. But I mean, hey, I mean, it works what it is. So overall, I mean, the acting is good. And then the dialogue is mixed. It's mixed from what's going on with the house and the creepiness, but with the characters talking to each other. It's really damn good dialogue. I mean, that's probably just me saying it, but I think it's pretty good with it. So I mean, overall, I would say the dialogue is good for the most part. So let's talk about the jump scares. Um, I'm sad to say this, but they're predictable. You get ones that are like, oh, stuff's moving, like I had talked about from my guest in Paranormal Activity 3 with me. It's like, oh, a chair's moving. It's like, oh, yeah, you've seen it before. I mean, you're like, oh, hey, this moves. Like, there's scenes where chairs are moving and Hunter's trying to ride his little bike thing and chairs move in the way. It's like, all right, we got it. This is what we get. Or a cat jumps on a computer and it's like, all right. So these are the jump scares we're gonna get. Like there's things that they're doing and there's jump scares popping up. And I was like, okay, whatever. Is this the jump scares we're gonna get? Nothing we can do by this point. Overall, I would just say whatever. I'll mention more later on, but as of right now, it's like, yeah, we got it. This is what we get, though. Um, One of the problems with this movie, to me, is that it's playing safe. The story is not leading anywhere. It's a straight line. Like, it's not doing this roller coaster thing like they were doing the first two movies, even the third one, but it's like, oh, why? It's not leading nowhere. It's not leading to the point of, oh, this is the end, or, oh, this is the thing that we're getting ready to see. But it's just like, oh, whatever. I mean, who cares by this point? I mean, I look at the story and, like, what's the point of it? Like, why are we doing this? So, it's whatever by this point. But, the things that work with this movie, like, if you're watching it theatrically, you're like, okay, whatever, I'm not fleshing with the characters enough. And the stuff that's unrated and on the DVD, there's stuff that, okay, now I'm relating to the characters. They're fun, they're energetic, they're funny. So there's stuff that's kind of dumb, but hey, you're relating to them. Like, There was one scene at the beginning after it's like, oh, this is what happened in the second one. The girl went out, they're doing the Halloween thing, they're trick or treating, they're having fun, and I mean, the kids are having fun, and it's a lot of fun for them. And then you see, oh, there's a lot of other stuff going on. There's another one where they're having a party with friends and everything. I was like, oh, okay. And some of them are like, all right, whatever. They're there, but it's whatever by this point. But let's start with the beginning of the movie. Let's talk about this movie in detail. I know I usually wouldn't do it, but I'm just like, you know what? Let's just start. So, in the beginning of the movie, um, the parents and Alex, well, the mom and Alex, are at Wyatt's soccer game. And she's looking at her. She's like, "Would you get the game?" Like, she's getting the game. She's paying attention. It's probably one of those mom moments. But they're doing that, and then Wyatt's like, "Where's Dad?" and everything, and we get that kind of cliche thing of like, "Oh, Dad's not around all the time." And it's all right, whatever by this point. But the characters are so fun, like watching them on screen, waiting before the Paranormal Activity stuff. It's so fun, honestly. I mean, you're relating to everybody. And then this is where Matt Charlie shows up later in the movie a little bit. And he's just, he's fun, guys, honestly. He's one of those guys where you're like, I would so hang out with him, honestly, in my opinion. He's a fun guy. And then you get the party with the friends and everything, and it's like, oh, hey, you know what? You're all fun. And then after it's like, wow, what a mess. And these two talking to each other, even from camera for found footage, it's pretty good. I didn't get bored by it. I was like, you know what? If there was a movie that wasn't Paranormal Activity, I would enjoy this movie. But it's Paranormal Activity 4, so it's like, okay, whatever. And then they're outside, they're at this little playground thing, and oh, hey, there's Robbie. Oh, jump scare. Yeah, speaking of that, he's showing up during the middle of the movie, and it's like, hey, how you doing, man? Really creeped me out. Like, he's at the soccer game where they're riding away, and he's right there, and, it's like, whoa, what a creepy kid. He's just sitting there, just doing his thing. All right, then. Way to go, kid. Ready to go. And he's like, she's taking him home, and Matt's like, oh, thanks for cock blocking me. It's like, okay, whatever by this point. But them talking from her laptop, it's cool to watch it. Moments I'm like, okay, I'm kind of cringing just a little bit, but I enjoyed it a lot. And then you get the cops being at Robbie's house, and then you get the next day to where, oh, here he comes, and he's just being there, creep, doing his thing. So then they have to keep him at their house until she's back. Like, oh, all right, this is what it is. And the mom said it, and I was like, all right, whatever. We got this thing. He was a lot of weird stuff to take with him. I'm not gonna say all of it, but one of them was a fork. Yeah, I'm not kidding. He keeps a fork with him. That's the thing, apparently. He's like, something, and I was like, all right, whatever. And then you get another scene with her and her laptop with Ben, and they're talking about a duck face thing, and I'm like, okay, all right. There's one around there too while they're talking, and you get this weird jump scare. Like, all right, we got it. And then the one with the duck face, he pulls her out of the bed, and it's like, oh, wow, okay. He was there the whole time. How come she didn't notice it? All right, we got it. It's in the bag. But the one where you got that one jump scare with not the duck face one, he's like, hey, apparently, Skype can record all your messages from your laptop. Yeah, I don't think that really happens in real life. That's kind of odd. They just wanted to put that in the movie to go like, oh yeah, we have stuff that's paranormal going on, so let's keep that in the movie. But he pulls up a video with their messages. She's like, why you can't do that. It's evading privacy. But it's what's her in the bed, and and Robbie just lays in the bed with her. Wow. All right. That's the thing. And then you get, let's talk about the Xbox Connect thing. They apparently just showing Xbox, and it's like, hey, there's one scene to where there's a figure is moving on the screen without anyone moving it. That was cool. And then they have these sugar dots on green lights was really cool too, and that helps later in the movie. We'll talk about it later in the movie. It was really cool. They're dancing in it, and then they re-look from her laptop, and there's a invisible figure standing beside him, and that was really cool. And then they're just, I think it's hold on, I'm thinking. I'm sorry. It's then the first night where she's doing stuff, and she's she's Robbie, and he's just standing there, and he's like, "What are you looking for?" He's like, "Nobody." And then the shadow figure, this invisible figure, just goes across, and she freaks out, and they look back from her laptop, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?" And they're just figuring it out, and then Dad shows up, and she's like, "Hey, what is that?" And it's like, "That's awesome." She's like, "Awesome." I'm like, I can't believe the technology you kids have today. It's like, what? They don't believe them? I mean, come on. You have, really, we're doing this again? Like, oh, the parents don't believe the kids. All right, we'll do that stupid shit. Oh, God, guys. And that's not helping enough. The mention of duck face thing I told you, we're just going to go ahead and talk about it again. They mentioned the duck face stuff, and she puts up a weird duck face from her face, and she's like, I can't hear you. And she pulls her out of the, he pulls her out of the bed, freaks her out. But like I said, why did she not notice his voice then? But she's like, remember all those video chats? He's like, yeah, I'm not that big of a perv. And he's like, can you do it to other computers? Like, yeah, I mean, if you show me where they are, I can set them up. And they set up all the laptops and cameras and stuff, and they just start setting up cameras. Um, what do you want them to do? I mean, you got weird shit going, and you see that. I mean, why not? And then you get a lot of crazy stuff, like one scene where, like on the first night, the second night, and then the third night, strange things happen, and then there's one like she's finding a trail of toys that lead to a closet, and then she finds Robbie. And he says he doesn't like you watching us, and a chandelier almost kills her, like inches away. I was like, oh shit, that was close. And she's not getting answers from Robbie, and she's mad. She's mad, and she's thinking, their parents are thinking, why would it chandelier fall like that? And she's freaking out. And then there's a scene where she's hearing stuff at night, and there's cars parked Robbie's house, like outside Robbie's house. She checks it out. She gets closer, but she's like, "Hey, there's a woman that pops up." She's like, "Hi, how are you? Like, can I help you?" She's like, "Sorry, run house." I was like, "All right, that's funny." And then Wyatt and Robbie talk to this invisible force, and then they're Robbie and Wyatt are writing the symbol on Wyatt's back, and he tells both Alex and Min, like, I had to meet him. It's like the symbol is learned from a witch's coven, one that would unleash a demon to possess a young boy. They learned they had to complete the possession ritual. Riot would need to spill the blood of a virgin, which is revealed to be Alex. And then they're just talking about, oh, he's like, you're fucked. She's like, huh, you're fucked too. And he's like, no, I'm not. And it's so funny. Their chemistry together is so fun. Like, it really is. I enjoyed it so much. And then the mother in the kitchen, she's with the laptop, and then a knife pops, like, away. She keeps looking for her. She's like, where the heck's the knife? And she's looking for it. I was like, All right, we got it. This is what we're gonna do, and it's probably gonna pop up later in the movie. You'll see. You'll see. Um, and then the next day, the boys go to Robbie's house. She follows them, and you get this thing of her roaming in the house trying to find them. And then you see Katie. She's returned, and it's like finally good, and we keep him out of the house. And but Wyatt explained to her that Katie knew he and Robbie were both adopted, and the Wyatt's real name is Hunter. And Katie told Wyatt his old family wants him back. It's like, all right, that's not creepy enough. If you don't know that from Paranormal Activity 2 and you weren't paying attention through all this, guess what? There you go. And then, remember that knife I told you about? Yeah, Doug hears something in the kitchen. He investigates and he keeps looking. He keeps like, oh, that pops up. He turns it off or something like, oh, something's back on. And the knife almost killed him. And the wife's not believing. It's like, all right, we got this, guys. And they're not believing it. She's not believing it either. All right. But then White argues with Toby about his real name, like with the Xbox Connect stuff. And he's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And it's like, all right, we hear our kid. Shut up already. We get it. We get it. And then there's one scene where he's taking a bath. He gets pulled on the water by him for a couple minutes. I just sit there and I just waited and waited and waited and waited. Oh, can I say something else? I waited. And then he's finally out. It's like he was in a trance or something. So I was like, all right, whatever. And then when Alex was asleep, Wyatt makes the blanket fly off of her and she levitates in midair. It's like, wow. It was creepy. I actually liked that moment. It was intense. And then she's waking up and everything. She's looking at stuff and everything. And then it's like, okay, whatever, and all this stuff. And then, I guess people are mad at each other or something. Some people argue, I guess, or stuff like that. You get generic stuff. And then the very next night, like at the 12th night, Alex and Ben are talking again and everything. It's like, oh, you know what? I still like their chemistry. And then you see Katie just sneaking around the house. She hears the garage door open. So she goes to close it. And then it opens again. She's after talking to Ben and is like, oh, what the fuck? The door shuts. It's locked. She can't do nothing. And then you get weird stuff. The editing for that scene from her freaking out kind of felt a little weird. And I was like, all right, it's fine. It's what it is. But I guess the car starts out of nowhere, and the exhaust coming out of the pipe is trying to kill her. So then Katie goes up enters in the house, go to his room, and tells him that she'll wait until he is ready. It's like, all right, we got it. From Paranormal Activity 3, we hear that, oh, it's time and stuff. It's like, whatever by this point. Stop with the ready shit already. But then she breaks in the car and breaks the garage door open. But she's trying to show the parents the footage, but the footage was mysteriously erased. And the parents thinks that she's crazy. So I was like, all right, there's no point in showing the footage by this point. I mean, and so's Ben like, oh, they think I'm crazy. It's like, all right, whatever. It's all right. We're crazy, apparently. We're all crazy. But the next time, Doug and Alex go to dinner to talk about the strange events that have been going on while they're gone. You get Holly, and she's just seeing weird shit. She's finally thrown down against the ceiling. I was like, damn, just upon impact, and then drags her body away. And the man comes over to try and see her, but no one's home. He attempts to leave a message on her laptop, but then she appears and he's dead by the snap of a neck. All right, then. And then he sees, apparently, they think it's Holly with Wyatt, but no, it's Katie and Wyatt. So Doug goes over there, and Alex is like, why was he on here? And tries to call him, and he hears his phone. He's like, you better not be messing with me again. And then she checks, she finds Ben's body, and suddenly knocked down by him, by Toby. And then she flees to Katie's home. And this scene, the last like maybe 3 to 4 minutes, is so weird. It's so much green. She's freaking out, she's screaming out and everything. And I was like, okay, we're gonna get a weird ending. I guarantee it. You can't see anything. And she's trying to search for her dad, and he's drugged out of sight. Like he's gone. So she's searching and everything. And I was like, all right, we're going a little slow here, and let's just. You get like, oh, this is gonna happen. Nope. And she hears Wyatt's voice, and then Katie's there, and some bad effects. She shrieks demonically. It's like, oh damn, okay, that's got something going on. That she escapes from the window and finds Wyatt in the yard. She looks behind her, sees a dozen of witches and demons running towards her. But as she turns around, Katie's gets her. She's dead. The camera falls to the ground, and the screen cuts to black. I mean, with its flaws and everything, with all the stuff going on, some really good amount of boredom, predictable jump scares. There's some that worked, but most of them were really predictable. I mean, some of them you could tell coming a mile away. The fun attempt chemistry of characters were fun, especially from Catherine Newton and Matt Shively. They were great in that movie, for sure. I mean, with all the stuff going on, they improved it a lot. But, I mean, it's not the best one out of all of them. It's still the most fun out of all of them, though. I mean, playing it safe, if you would call it safe, it doesn't work. I mean, that's probably the most biggest disappointment out of all of them, is that it's just saying it. And all activities led to this. It doesn't really. It just feels odd to say that. Like, it kind of lied to us, but I was like, alright, whatever by this point. I mean, you can't expect much from Paranormal Activity by this point. You've seen this shit before, so really it don't matter by this point. But this came out like in October of 2012. So by this, I was like, all right, I see the purpose of it. I mean, you're trying to make money, you're trying to have fun for the audience, and just show them what you got. And you give an effort. But with you seen this stuff before, like the camera moving and all this, even if it's from laptops, you've seen this shit before by this point. I mean, remember I said in the third one with my review when I was talking with someone, and it's like, oh, hey, a chair moved. And it's like, yeah. Like moments when I was seeing stuff move, I was like, oh, hey, how you doing today? You miss me? No? You still want a beer? All right, nothing? Okay, then. And I was just like, all right, I'm just there watching it. Like, you see moments of the house, like, stuff in the rooms and everything. You're just sitting there, and then you see it again, and they go back to the same spot again and all this stuff. And then you see stuff moving, you're like, all right, I see what's going to happen. Just get it done, get it out of the way. I expected it by this point, because after 3 movies before this, you expect this shit by this point. I mean, you've seen this shit already. I mean, come on, give me a fucking break with this. I mean, don't say you haven't seen it, because if you haven't, then what a disappointment. But yeah, you've seen this shit before. But I mean, that's probably all I could think of. But yeah, overall, Paranormal Activity 4 is still a good movie. It still has its flaws, especially when there's boredom going on through the movie. I was like, all right, we got to have something going on. Especially with the bathtub scene. I was like, yeah, we got to have something going on in the movie. But the acting is pretty good overall. The dialogue is good overall. I mean, with they reacted to the characters and chemistry between them, it works really good. When it's the Paranormal Activity stuff going on, it's just good. I mean, that's just an odd thing to say, though. The jump scares are predictable. Some of them are good, but some of them are really predictable. You can see them coming a mile away. The found footage element is good. I didn't mention that yet, but it is pretty good. The editing is a little shaky at times, but for the most part, it's decent. The cinematography is good. I know that's weird to mention that for a found footage movie, but it is good. The stupidity of some of the characters, I mean, it's mostly with the parents. Sometimes, like Catherine Newton and Matt Riley at the end, but they were smart for a majority of it. It played it safe. That was one of the big problems. The boredom, the jump scare predictability. There's a lot of other stuff. The third act worked with the scare. It got me good. But I mean, that's nothing compared to like any other movies, like the first one. Like the end of the first one, that got me good. But this one, I was like, oh, yeah, it got me good, but not enough, apparently. So, whatever. I mean, that's all I can think of for the overall. So, I mean, the directing's decent. I mean, they all did good. And this movie made bank because it's a small budget and it made money. So, whatever. I think the unrated version did better for me. That's just weird. Yeah, I know it's just weird to say that, but I think it really did, honestly. But I mean, for fans, you'll you'll think this is a lot of fun. I'm a fan of it, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I mean, I'm gonna give Paranormal Activity 4 a B minus. It's still a good movie, even with its problems and flaws. I mean, it's still a fun movie. I think the relation to the characters were like the biggest part of the movie that led it up to the grade. I think they were just so fun, honestly. I mean, what would we expect from them? That's out of all three movies, and then this one was the most fun of them. That's kind of sad, though. So yeah, get ready for the next review where I'm gonna review a bad one. Yay, exciting, I guess. Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. That'll be fun for sure. Yay, I guess. But that's my review for Paranormal Activity 4, guys. And until next time, peace out.